Again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the second game between Pancreas, Protos rather, and LuckyStrike Terran. The first game, Pancreas did end up winning, and they chose to play on Naga Caverns the second time. Looks like Lucky is choosing to be Terran this game and not Zerg as he was last time. Once again, no cheese play by either of these players. We do have a first pylon going down by Pancreas, and it is not anywhere near this ram, so he's not planning to block, which is pretty standard if you're playing against Terran. I mean, with the Zerg, you would have to block, as there's a very good chance that you would get rushed. And just considering how cheap Zerglings are, there's always some kind of foul party going down and trying to destroy everything you ever wanted to build. Meanwhile, we have some harassment going down by this lonely probe. Did not manage to do much with that. Looks like he will come back, try to do more, but not be successful at it. Continue looking at the production. We have our gateway going down and barracks, which it looks like they are about the same. Neither player is choosing to block. The probe goes down. This SCV with a single kill. How amazing. We do have orbital command and first marine going down by Lucky. No zealot on Pancreas' part. I wonder whether this SCV is going to promote or make him build that zealot. Probably not. Looks like he's just going to choose to go for the cybernetic score and pump out more probes. Looks like he's even going to chrono those probes out of there. Looks like really fast expansion on the part on Lucky's part. Looks like he is choosing to forego any kind of military advantage, just go straight for an expansion. And Pancreas does not know about this yet, so he is thinking a 1-1-1 build, maybe a lot of barracks. He will probably be able to scout that out with this single probe, although it might actually be denied by these marines. We'll have to see whether he's able to spot that or not. Yep, he did see it. For that fraction of a second, he will be able to see it. At the same time, he did choose to expand himself. We have that single stalker as a defensive unit for all of Pancreas' army. Meanwhile, we will see that the more probes do pay out in the end, having this bigger mineral count, but once in a while the mule does come in and harvest a little more minerals, so that's nice. Otherwise they are pretty even. We have this one lonely SCV scouting the 4-gate, 3-gate, and a robotic facility going down as well. Meanwhile, we do have concussive shells going down by being researched by Lucky. And it doesn't actually look like Lucky is aware. He did scout this expansion and he was able to see it, but we will have this denied, free kill denied. He thought he was gonna get that SCV, but he might actually end up losing it, because once these concussive shells go down, he will be able to pretty much catch up to anything that is escaping from him. We will have Lucky try to break through the indestructible rocks, although 3 Marines, one who apparently is not shooting, will be doing some attack on the indestructible rocks. We do have an orbital command that was built actually before it lifted off, so it did build up some energy and was able to drop down more mules. And you can see that difference right here. For there's a little more resources, but at the same time it looks like it's pretty much the same. But you will see the difference in harvesters. 8 more harvesters on Pancreas' part. It looks like STEM being researched as well, and robotics bay by Pancreas, so he will transition into Colossus and hopefully not make a boo-boo and forget about the thermal the thermal lances. So it looks like Pancreas is expecting some kind of harassment by Lucky, but I mean, Lucky is going for a lot of barracks as he's trying to make up for not having an army. It looks like he did supply block himself for a little bit. I'm not even quite sure whether he's making any supply depots anywhere. He's not, so he's still supply blocked. He used his resources to put down some expansions on it, it looks like. No, it's still supply blocked. Well, that's too bad. 65 out of 65, wow. But he is constructing more depots, so he is trying to stay on top of it. That's always good. Yep, there's that thermal lance, extended thermal lances by Pancreas, which will be very important against this massive marauders. If you look at the unit composition, we have strictly marauders, strictly marines on for LuckyStrike, and we do have very varied army composition by Pancreas. He has a lot of zealots, some stalkers, and of course that awesome Colossus, which should be able to rack up kills. We did have Lucky's army move up to these Zilnaka towers, and at the moment he is using both of them, so he is able to see pretty much everything what's going down. He did choose to not leave any units there, which that's probably a good decision considering this tower can pretty much spot everything, although not quite sure whether he knows about this other pass on the left side of the map, as he could pretty much bypass the right side tower and not even have to worry about it. Pancreas can, that is. Meanwhile, we did have another expansion go down by Lucky, and he chose to not expand at these high yield minerals, but instead on the corner expansion here, and a planetary fortress did go down for him at that position. And we finally have level 1 weapons upgrade for Lucky, and he is moving out again. Did scan. So he scanned the observer, but by the time he got there, he was not able to destroy it. Looks like, yep, there goes another scan. He is going to lose that observer. Pancreas will. Meanwhile, not sure whether Lucky is aware of the Colossus. He's probably didn't do a scan there, but he probably is defensively building, as those Vikings would be able to target any Colossus that come up, or any other air unit for that matter. So once again, army composition on both of these parts. We have a lot of Marauders, some Marines, Vikings, and looks like Zealots. Very Zealot heavy. I'm not sure how much they will be able to accomplish against. There is the scan, so he is able to see a Colossus and pretty much the entire army composition, as people will put it. That is an army scan, and that's when Pancreas decides to move out. Not sure whether he will push all the way to this base and try to snipe some of these units, but counting the number of stalkers, there's only 6 stalkers. I'm not sure how effective that would be against these. And yep, we do have the units stim up. Marauders are going to be very effective against these zealots. Yeah, just not a lot of damage done. Oh wow, there's that pylon not gonna go down. Wow, Marauders and Marines, this might be the end right here, as those, wow, just being able to snipe those Colossus out of thin air. And LuckyStrike is gonna continue pushing, but it looks like he did stim his units to the point where it's going to be dangerous for them to just chill there. Whether or not this Colossus will be able to do any damage or just get annihilated is questionable. Ah, it got sniped. That Colossus went down. No damage. We do have some of these Marauders over here that are just doing a lot of damage, and they were stimmed yet another time, and he did choose to run away. Unfortunately, he's going to see this expansion, and it looks like these little probes are actually going to be able to defend this expansion from being destroyed. Ah, so close, so close. Meanwhile, we do have more Marauders being constructed. It looks like a lot of Zealots and Stalkers versus those Stim Marauders. And Marauders do have the 1 attack and 22 versus armored targets, since they were able to take out those Colossus so quickly. Colossus and Stalkers, as a matter of fact. And LuckyStrike is feeling confident right now. He did choose to destroy these rocks that were blocking his rich expansion, and he is gonna put that down. Probably going to put another planetary fortress on it as well. I mean, who can blame him after doing that much damage to the entire, pretty much obliterating his Pancreas' entire army? He should be very confident, and he is. We do have some High Templars going down by Pancreas, so he is trying to find a good choice, good counter for these Marauders, and considering that they're in mass, it might actually work out. Ah! That's too bad. Looks like those fields actually did more damage to the Zealots and his own units than this other army, but he did use that stim. He did use the stim to run away pretty much, so it looks like a drop. Yep, that's gonna be a drop. And it's a very good move on Lucky's part, because there's just no defenses in this area. Question is whether this drop will be spotted, and yeah, Pancreas is able to see it for a fraction of a second, so he is going to put down some Zealots to defend against it. Yep, a good move on Pancreas' part. Meanwhile, we do have this huge army, and even some ghosts. Perfect counters for on both of these players' parts for what their opponent is creating unit-wise. Meanwhile, Pancreas is choosing to pull back his entire army to deal with these medevacs. And yeah, he saw those pull back, and he is gonna make that drop. But Pancreas is moving all of his units out, so there will be some damage done. It looks like this Nexus might actually be sniped if he chooses to attack it. He stims again, loads up, and he sees that there's no units able to attack air, so he just pushes for it. Meanwhile, we do have this staging army right here with a lot of medevacs. Looks like 4 medevacs and a lot of units, but at the same time he might be able to load all of them up into the medevacs and transport them up to high ground and bypass Pancreas' whole army. Pancreas is also going for his rocks. Meanwhile, if you look at the army composition, 33 Marauders, a lot of Zealots, 10 High Templars.